Welcome to B4SAR Day. Thank you so much for showing your support for SAR. Please remember to visit b4sar.org. And I'm so happy to have this opportunity to share a few words and thoughts together as we prepare for the holiday of Shavuot. Let's start with the psukim in Parashat Yitro when Bnei Israel reach Midbar Sinai. And it says in the Torah, B'chodesh hashlishi latzeit bnei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim bayom hazeh ba'u midbar Sinai. Rashi tells us that bayom hazeh is Rosh Chodesh Sivan, and he asks why it says bayom hazeh and not bayom hahu. And he says, Shehiyu divrei Torah chadashim alecha Ki'ilu hayom nitnu. We want the mitzvot of the Torah, the words of the Torah, to be as exciting for us every single day as if it was the day that we received them. We can convey to our children how excited we are when we receive a new gift, something new, and that each Shavuot we remind ourselves of the excitement that we want to feel towards the Torah, towards the mitzvot, and the excitement that we feel about that each and every day, and how to reenact that. So what are some ways that we can do that? How can we convey to our children that Torah is the best gift that we can ever have and receive? That it's the gift that keeps on giving. That it's a gift that's a blueprint that teaches us how to live our life. Some thoughts for some conversation starters that you can have approaching Shavuot and on Shavuot, and you can consider which way works best to have this conversation within the context of your family, whether you have cards under some plates that have conversation starters, or whether you just want to start them or ask a child to start them. But here are some things worth considering talking about. Why are rules important? In which ways are rules restrictive? And in which ways are rules redemptive? Why are Pesach and Shavuot so connected? Why did we have to come out of Egypt, the slavery of Egypt, to become truly free? And what is true freedom all about? How do mitzvot develop us as people? You might want to do that for a theme for one meal on Shavuot, of having the names of different mitzvot on cards, and people could discuss how that helps refine you as a person. If you have young kids, you might want to consider making up cards with one of your children or alone before the Chag and playing headbands, and people have to guess the mitzvah. Consider sharing a story at a Yom Tov meal about how living by the Torah makes your life richer. I remember when my daughter shared once that when she was in grad school, a girl came over to her and said, I noticed that you and the other girls in the class that are Torah observant never speak about other people negatively. And that's why I chose to come and join your group and to befriend all of you. Let's let our kids see the way Torah refines us as people. Shiyu be'einecha kechadashim. Let's transmit that excitement. We need to also consider, while we're trying to transmit that excitement, the other messages that we might be conveying to our children, some that we want to convey and some that we want to be careful not to convey. We don't want to convey that mitzvot are a burden on us. We don't want to be approaching Shavuot talking only about food, or only about, oh my goodness, it's a 3-dayer. This is so much work, or what am I going to do for all 3 days? We need to think about what our body language and what words we're using in front of our children. So for example, we might shift that, and when we go grocery shopping for food for Yom Tov, we might want to bring one or two of our children along and say, what do you want to help pick out for this Chag? This is the Chag that's celebrating our accepting of the Torah, our receiving of the Torah. How can we show honor to the holiday? What exciting things can we make that represent that? I have really positive memories as a child on Erev Shavuot of going with my dad, alav hashalom, together with my sisters, and we would actually cut flowers and decorate our home with them. Think of other ways that might be meaningful for your children to decorate your home, so that it's not only about cleaning the house and cooking, which is also all part of showing kavod to the Chag, but what other ways can it be personalized for our kids in terms of decorating our home? On the topic of our home, I'd like to consider another very important way to prepare the feeling in our home for Shavuot. And in the very next pasuk In Parshat Yitro, we know that it says, "Vayavo midbar Sinai, vayachanu bamidbar, vayichan sham Yisrael neged hahar." There are lots of songs that have been written about this. Ki ish achad belev echad, aval shar kol hachanayot b'taramotu b'machloket. That when we reached Har Sinai, there was a feeling of togetherness. There was a feeling of unity, and there was a feeling of people, even if that doesn't mean that everybody has to agree, but it means that everybody has to get along and show respect for each other. So what can we do in our own homes? Our homes are a mini mikdash. Our homes are mini Har Sinais. What can we do to prepare our home to be a place that's a machloket-free zone? That's a zone where our kids could feel safe, and where our kids could feel joyous and united as a family. So let's remind ourselves, first of all, to embrace the whole child. None of us are perfect, just like we're all works in progress. Our kids are works in progress. We might be more similar to some of our kids. We might be more different than others of our kids. We want to make sure that we remember to look at the whole picture and that we don't get stuck on a little annoyance or a little detail of our child. We have to think about which things we want to point out to our children if they're doing something wrong, which things might be most important for us to overlook and not give too much attention to. No child is going to change overnight. We need long-term plans that are slow, steady, loving, and accepting. How about if we take upon ourselves, starting today, before SAR Day through Shavuot, to make sure that every single day, sometime throughout the day, we say something positive that we admire about every one of our children, one at a time, privately, and in a genuine manner. We have to put in lots of deposits before we have to make a small withdrawal. So if there is a time that we have to call our kid out on something, let's make sure that we've had a ratio of about 5-1 and that we've also found 5 positive things to say to them throughout the day. Going back to the theme of the fact that it's a 3-day Yom Tov and we want our home to be a loving, positive zone, let's think about how we could take those 3 days and rather than dreading 3 whole days, what am I going to do on them? Let's think about how we can make those days meaningful. Make sure you have enough books taken out of the library. Make sure you have games in the house that your family might enjoy playing together, or you might consider taking time to play games with an individual child. We want to cherish this family time. We all live very busy, frenetic lives, and being able to be free of technology and distractions for 3 days is a huge bracha that we want to make sure to plan for and be able to embrace together. So the 2 messages again that I'd love for us all to be machazek ourselves as we enter Shavuot are Sheyu beinecha kachadashim, let us feel the joy and excitement of how the Torah enriches our lives and transmit that to our children, and Vayichan sham Yisrael neged hahar keish echad to create a loving environment in our home, a safe, a joyous environment in our home, filled with laughter, love, and acceptance, so that we can accept the Torah along with our children as we accept who we are and who our children are, and take the growth from there. Wishing everybody a meaningful and wonderful Chag of Kabbalat HaTorah, Chag Sameach, and thanks. Be well.